There will never be a situation where people end a multi-billion-dollar deal off of a tweet. Gotcha.
It's a level of success where it's a door. It's a door.
Let's take rap music.
Let's take it.
Same people who own the labels own the prison.
Everywhere we go, everything you see, it seems like it's programming, a hidden agenda from the music, the frequency, and the visuals. We're about to go down the industry rabbit hole of why it seems like everybody is pledging their allegiance to the opposite side of what they should be, and if they get benefit from that, and what really go on behind the scenes. One individual will never figure out everything alone, but together we can figure it all out. Let's get to it. We're going to put this knowledge together and disassociate from that indoctrination the system tried to give us. Welcome to the Global Mafia. Let's get to this knowledge.
Globvl TV, subscribe.
Music is ran by the devil, magic, and witchcraft. Music is used as a way to push an agenda, okay? So what happens is, the devil's sole purpose is to get as many souls into hell, right? So what the devil needs is, the devil needs mouthpieces. The devil needs advocates. You know, say advocate, play devil's advocate, right? You need that. So yes. So when you have potential for leadership, when you have potential for influence, like I have a lot of potential for influence, right? So I'm somebody who's worthy to sell his soul. I'm somebody who's valuable for the devil. These people who have great influence, the devil wants that, like a scout. And that's what happens.
Elvis' success was based on a machine, not based on the fans. Every radio slot is bought. Every radio slot since the beginning of the music industry is bought and paid for. You feel what I'm saying? Everything that is done through a connection of some sort of a machine behind it. Mm-hmm. There is no, I just come out, I'm super fucking dope, my music is a fucking hit, and my song just blew up out of nowhere. You feel what I'm saying? And I became super rich. Mm-hmm. They may put that image out there, but that's never the case. You're not getting on the radio without somebody paying for you to get on the radio. It costs, a minimum is $100,000. That's what it costs to get radio spins on any major market. You got to approach iHeartRadio with 100 bands. You feel what I'm saying? And then you're going to make sure you get played on KMEL. You're going to get played on 92.3 The Beat. You're going to get played on Power 106. You're going to get played in New York on Hot 97. That costs 100 to get on those major markets. You want to start dealing with more markets like Detroit, Miami, and other little small venues like that, then you got to come up with some more money. You feel what I'm saying? But this has always been this way since the fucking beginning. Since when LL Cool J was popping and his song I'm Bad and all that, they was paying to put that on there. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers was getting to the top of MTV and on the box and all that shit had to be paid.
Me having an inside track to the industry, you know, I always keep it non-biased with y'all. There is a fee to cross that line and get into them rooms and get your song played on the radio. The number is around $250,000 now, and you can get it played across the board. But when TikTok and the internet started booming a little more, there is still bits of organic songs that grow, that organically they move around because the people feel them, and because you don't need a machine to put out the songs anymore. Somebody could upload a song one day, and you could be famous tomorrow. Now, is that going to keep you a longevity in the game? No, but you're going to have that one-time shot.
Happen again in history. There will never be a situation where people end a multi-billion-dollar deal off of a tweet. Gotcha. Gotcha. So I would like to thank everyone that was involved with this negotiation. Thank God no one was hurt in the process. And I feel free.
It goes back to what I was saying about once you influence you, then you're an asset to them, right? So once you understand your value position, right? Like you could be an independent guy, putting work in, and get to a point where you're good enough for them to purchase your soul, right? And when you see, there's no artist, be clear, no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms and haven't sold their soul. And when you know what you're looking at and you know how to decipher shit, you will see it. And people like the brother right here who has his merch and is doing it out the trunk and direct to consumer, you will never get to that $20 million club without going through certain doors.
I'm doing this shit not even knowing like what these horns mean. None of this shit. I'm like, yo, this shit look dope as fuck. It look like the bone.
Like devil satanic, like, crazy shit.
Yeah. I'm actually like, it looks like bone sounds. Years later, I'm on my podcast doing a fucking show about the Illuminati and I'm looking up the images. I'm like, Wait a minute.
It's like your album.
I've been bamboozled now.
But you think people are purposely putting symbols in your shit? Just
bro, purposely.
You think so?
Yeah, purposely.
The dirt is that very, very few artists actually made a really healthy living selling records in the history of the music industry, because people forgot that the music industry was always technology. You have to look at the origins of the music industry being hardware. Our music was made to sell hardware, to the point that if you sold outside of that circle, you were deemed a sellout. A sellout doesn't mean you change your morals. You sold out of the circle of things you were supposed to sell. Phonographs, record players. We could have been signed a Cadillac. There's radios in Cadillac. But that's not what we were supposed to sell. So artists are supposed to make money when they come up with other things to sell and use their music to sell it. Dr. Dre and Beats, me and I and Plus, or going out and selling out venues. You want to sell out? Sell out the Staples Center. You want to make money? Do your own festival. Write your own songs. Because publishing was the first music industry. Until the music industry figures out what we're going to sell hardware, then we are just a hired gun to sell somebody else's stuff.
Shout out to Will I Am for giving us some information that you cannot put a price on, only experience and wisdom. He has the knowledge of 20 to 30 years in the music industry, getting played and having success. With that being said, you have to know the business first. It goes way further than a dream and some good rhymes being written down, which is unfortunate. Talent should be able to get you to where you need to be, but you got to know the business of anything that you're doing, including YouTube.
Things about this business is most people are rich or famous. I would ask you to take the time to understand what you're asking for, what you're trying to get involved in. Don't make the mistake that so many young artists that I keep running into are making, and that's thinking because you're talented, you are entitled to success. You are not. This is a cold, and I hate to be so sobering from the beginning, but this is a cold game, bruh. And the ones that make it through, they've learned lessons in ways that they wish they had. And I promise you, we probably all have at least one of those. I have a song on my discography that I can't claim, that I promise you, you've all heard. It's like the first song I ever worked on in my life. The Running Man Challenge. At night, I think of you. I worked on that shit in high school, bruh. Did not understand the business and took that L. So I'm saying, understand what you're trying to get involved in. It's scary. I'm not telling you to be afraid, but it is wise to respect it and the power that people are wielding out here. The smarter you are, the wiser you are, the less there is to be afraid.
Mariah, $20 million. Like, if I was a rapper. That's like a huge deal, right?
So you feeling that?
No, well, what I mean, I don't understand. What the public sees the word $20 million an album. Well,
let's see. Do you all think that's a good deal?
What? I mean, tell me why. I mean, what am I missing?
Okay, let's do some math.
Okay.
If
do math like that?
Yeah, well, kinda. If you sign me,
Okay.
you sign me to a record company or a record deal, let's suppose you have a record company. How much would you give me? The album sells for $18, right? $18.
Whatever. Yeah.
All right. How much of that would you give me?
Well, I don't know how it works.
Well, no.
You know how it works.
Half sound good? All right, check this out. If I sell 1 million copies, I'm gonna have $10 million, right? Roughly $10 million. If I sell 2 million copies, I got $20 million. If I just sell 3 million copies, I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right? So Mariah kind of got screwed.
Things are happening to them because that's the price that they pay for fame. See, when you're in the music business, you ain't supposed to pay your way in the music business. You're supposed to be chosen for this game. Now, if you choose to sell your soul, that's on you. Because there's people out here selling their soul for fame. But, that's going to only last for so long. But remember, I told you the devil moves in shapes and sizes. He'll come through the managers. He'll come through, yo, do you think this is a good deal? You got to know if it's a good deal. Don't ask me. A lot of people don't know what type of deal to sign. I think those 360s are a bad deal.
Yeah.
A lot of artists are stuck in it. You see a lot of artists complaining, yo, I ain't get this, I ain't get this, I ain't get my publishing, I ain't do this. Yo, let me show y'all something. And I'm going to tell every independent artist and artist, old school and new school, negotiating a deal, make sure you have a great entertainment attorney. Not the homeboy operation. Right. Not the homeboy. Not the friend that's a manager who used to be a lawyer. Make sure you have an entertainment attorney to teach you what you're signing before you sign. He needs to mark it up. He needs to explain it to you before you put your name on the contract. Just don't put your name on the contract and not know your stipulations on the contract or what you could do and what you can't do.
For business, it is a business and nothing else. Treat it as such. You hire people to know the things that you don't know. You don't sign anything that you haven't thoroughly read through and feel comfortable with. Today, you can pay yourself to be put on the market and invest in yourself without the machine. Signing a contract for your record deal is no less of important than signing the terms of the service and agreements that everybody signs, and you find out you can't do certain things and you're allowing these companies to be able to go through your phone and have access to you. It's one and the same.
Eazy-E got full-blown AIDS. Now, you got to think, Eazy-E was funking at this time with Dr. Dre and, you feel me, Jerry Heller. You know what I'm talking about? They was really funking. And the hospital he went to was, what, from my recollection, from what I was hearing, that the doctor was fucking with Dre and Jerry Heller. That was their doctor. You know what I'm talking about? So when he went to the hospital, all of a sudden he got full-blown AIDS. That's not possible. You feel me? This man is breathing, doing his thing. All of the chest was hurting. Nigga, we was smoking pounds. So we all was fucked. But he was just ready to cut and go home. When he did, he ended up going to the hospital and something happened in the hospital.
Once again, to go back to the full-blown AIDS, and you say you've seen people like that, you'll see that in their appearance, right? But with Eazy-E, he looked healthy and everything, right?
No, he was straight. He was straight. You feel me? I mean, you know, when you say full-blown, that shit happens over years. You get HIV, then you get AIDS, and then shit progress if you ain't taking care of your shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like you're supposed to. Then that's how motherfuckers fall off the earth. But this nigga got full-blown AIDS in 2 days? Impossible, my nigga. Only thing you can think about normal sense is a motherfucker was injected with it. That's the only way, my nigga. The only thing I can think of to get full-blown AIDS. I mean, his wife didn't have it. You feel me?
None of his
Not
kids.
that, you know, he could have fucked and, you know, she didn't catch it or whatever. But what I'm saying is, she didn't have it. You know what I'm talking about? 2 to 3 days and they have full-blown AIDS and die? Impossible. You gotta think about that, my nigga. You know, me and Bone used to be in Ruthless Records like a motherfucker.
So I want to get your personal opinion, man. Do you believe that Eazy-E was injected with AIDS?
Oh yeah, I think that's the only logical reason, my nigga. For real. You feel me? To get full-blown 2 to 3 days, my nigga. Impossible. You feel me? Full-blown AIDS, you gonna be losing weight, you gonna hair, you feel me? All of a sudden. Just don't make no sense. But it's understandable, you know? Some people gonna look over it, some people gonna sweep it under the rug. The real is the real.
Big NWA fan, big Eazy-E fan, you know, Cali representative. Never even thought about that. But when you start asking questions, things either do make sense or they make no sense at all. And you have a plain answer right there. How y'all feeling about this? Which way you going with that? What we doing? How we feeling? What's going on? Fauci is also the dude who was the head of the movement, the Magic Johnson Eazy-E. the same dude who we all wanted to get the jab from. He led the Magic Johnson movement. I'll leave it there.
Sadness. Yeah. And you gotta just keep turning them out. Yeah. And it's gotta be good. It's gotta be really good, sad song. For it to be really good, you have to be fucking sad, you know?
They have contracts. There was a contract. Now it's later been amended, but Victory Boyd that signed to Rock Nation. A line inside of the contract that I'm sure Jay-Z and Beyonce never saw was, it said that Victory would not be able to sing about Christ or be able to sing about God in the contract. Rhythm and blues was the first step of taking God out of the people because we had gospel. Aretha Franklin had gospel. Ray Charles. Patti LaBelle.
It's like something the producers and engineers would know, but something like the outside world won't really know.
Like your favorite artist, probably a solid 80% of the time probably isn't writing the song that you're hearing on the radio or on their album. They have songwriters that are there to basically like either come up with an initial idea or to like basically make a whole song for the artist, and then they just go in with their voice and, you know, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Like a sample?
Yeah, really it's called a reference track. So basically as a songwriter, what you do is you make like an idea version of the song, right? So like you might do a hook that you envision or hear on the beat for the other artists to do, and that'll be the reference.
And the game is fucking bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, you're saying what it's about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a fucking game. The industry, real niggas is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap. The industry got y'all word meaning nothing. The industry, what you heard, because he's bluffing. The industry, money, just hate. But I dare you to try to take a thing off my plate. The industry like, wait, but in the streets we like, get them.
The music business is only designed to get as many people to go away from God as possible. So what happens is the devil needs workers, and by workers, he needs people who have influence, who can mislead or misguide people away from the light into the darkness. So this is why the artist is powerful. So the artist is the mouthpiece, okay? The artist is the mouthpiece between the devil and the fan, and the artist's job is to get you to throw up these weird signs. What are you doing this for? This is the Baphomet. I don't this. So don't think I'm throwing this up because I don't this. I'm just showing you when you see these signs, when you see the checkerboards, when you hear them talking about demon time and drill and all, even the actual beat and the BPM, it's all 808 drums. This is all low vibration. So what happens is the artist is only the tool used to push the message of the devil.
And you've said some stuff about the CIA. Rob, I don't know if you got the clip or not. I don't know which clip this is. We'll play one of these clips if you got it. Is this on Bill, Rob? Okay, play this clip. You know, maybe your positions change, but I want to hear your thoughts. Go for it.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons.
Literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about it's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. You know, some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're going to have this guy write the lyrics. We're going to have that. You have, you know, the record company pushing the narrative, you know, and somewhat, you know, some social engineering going on here to make sure those prisons stay full.
So,
yeah.
How much truth is there behind that?
I think it's a lot of truth. If you really remember, I was talking about the Black Rocks of the world and Vanguards of the world. Look how much they are invested in all these big labels and the prison industry. And, you know, not saying that the CIA is sitting there writing rhymes, but they may have a deal with the labels and to allow certain records to get through. I mean, it's up to the label who they blow up, the whole industry. And so, yeah, I mean, I've seen records made by a committee when it's not the artist's own thought process, but that happens with a lot of records. You know, a lot of records are You got producers, you got A&R people, you got people who sit there and say, okay, this sound like it's a hit. This sound like it's going to be great. And so, it's not hard to imagine, a record label, finding a kid that's talking the hardest and blow him up to the top, because they know, some kids may be out there going to listen and, like you said, be influenced to do something because this is their favorite rapper. So, you don't see a lot of happy rappers at the top of the game, do you? They're not going to let you put the record out unless they have a say in the production of the music.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like you write a book and they say, hey, you can't be critical of this guy. Take this out.
Yeah.
Or, hey, we got to talk to the lawyers about this line. We don't want to get sued by those guys like that. You're not saying necessarily to try to get internally to destroy a community like the African-American community.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not either. I don't know what their plan is. I just know that the same people who own the labels own the prisons. And I believe, and it's a lot of evidence out there, that they make sure that the records that are put out will more than likely have a negative effect on the community and create, a prison industry or a prison community where, you got the men and women in the community going to jail often. So it happens. It's real. It's reality.
A thing called the music prison pipeline. It's more than real. It's factual. It's documented. So much research. Obviously, that 3-letter agency has a vested interest in putting industry plans in to make the overall culture and the production of the people be ignorant, whatever you want to call it, degenerate, all of that.
Where it's a door. It's a door. When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you could walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati. I just didn't take that door. I went straight. What do you mean? Listen, when you get to a level of success, when you getting 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you running across the world. There's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left, there's to the right, and then there's straight. Straight is you're on your own. Let's see if you continue this success, young man. Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that. And you went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight. But I was offered these doors.
This is your offer? Some gay shit?
I don't, no. I'm saying that to the right, when I seen it, those was those guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Those different people, which I have no problem with. That's y'all. You feel me? And I just chose to go straight, and I haven't been platinum since.
Mottola, Tommy Mottola, very powerful person in the industry who has connections, according to Vanity Fair, to the mafia. Like I said, he's not the kind of person that you want to go to war with. And not only that, Michael Jackson had the courage to call out how record companies cheat their artists. He wanted to stand up for these small guys and say, we cannot allow these sorts of things to go on anymore.
Record companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
His declaration of war on the industry of people who he was alleging was intentionally stealing and selling artists short, and who he no longer wanted to work with because he wanted to be a free agent.
That's a great place to end the compilation. Michael Jackson is the greatest example of somebody being stopped in his tracks because the power was more effective than the industry. He had a hold on the people more than the government and more than the elite forces and the agenda that they had. That being said, let me know how y'all feel about this deep dive. What's the next deep dive we taking? How y'all feel about the backside of the music industry? Pause. The things you got to do to withstand and have a successful career in it. Is it worth it? Y'all let me know. Do y'all want to still be in the music industry? Take part in it? That being said, I am Cass, capital K, $ for the S. Pop out the intellectual street thoughts, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hit that sub button. Don't forget to hit that like button.